great question, and I'd like to to answer this, divide it into two buckets. One is the non-linearity aspect of the career, and also the unidimensionality that you mentioned. I've worked in fair bit of organizations, and through the network and connections that I've built, I do have the perspective of lot of other organizations as well. And one of the things that I find common in most of the reasonably sized organizations, let's put startups out of this conversation for a bit, is that each and every organizations have career paths. And the way the career paths tend to get designed are that there is a entry role that you get into after you come out of your college, and then there is a role right at the top. So one of the questions that I asked was, what is the role which is essentially at top of these ladders? And more often it tends to be a VP or a department head.
Right.
The next question that I asked looking at these career paths was, which is the highest designation in the organization? And that is the CEO. And then logically, if you associate these two, you tend to think why organizations don't give you a path right till the CEO role in the organization. And that kind of led me question this linear approach of following the career paths, that are designed in the organization. And I incidentally happened to talk to one of my previous CEOs, who was CEO of a company, Citrix for around 20 years, Mark Templeton, quite respected in his field. And one of the things he told about career paths was that career paths up to the top in the organization rarely tend to be linear.
Oh.
They're always zigzag, and you need to figure out where the next dot is to move forward. So this really kind of made me question the rationale behind the linear careers. And I don't, having said that, I don't say that there is all wrong with having a predictable career path. So it does help to solve a problem in the organization, which can be HR wants predictable processes, even some employees want it, and there is nothing wrong with that. Not everyone wants to be a CEO, but there are other merits to being following a non-linear path. And the second part around the unidimensionality, I do believe, like, now let's put startups into the context of conversation. When the startup is new and the product market fit is not achieved, so people play different roles, while wearing one, being in one designation. They may be marketing, they may be coding, they may be testing, they may be doing hustling around and sales and whatnot. So in the early stage organizations, you can afford to be a generalist and in interest of moving the organization forward. But when it comes to scale, the unidimensionality, the specialization matter, in my opinion. And what I mean by that is having a deep knowledge of one subject or maybe a related set of technology helps scales the organization and go to the next level. But in this conversation around generalist, or what I call as flexible generalist and specialist, being a specialist, I usually term around two cautions there. I think one is being a specialist, better choose a field which is going to be relevant in the time to come. So I'm sure the people who chose artificial intelligence and machine learning 15 years back are reaping the rewards of that. And second, while watching IPL yesterday, one thought came to my mind, like, we are really seeing around 200 odd cricketers from India in that competition, which is hardly around 2 to 3% of the cricket playing population, or even less. And these are like hyper specialized individuals who specialize in their areas. So better, if you're choosing a specialized field, better be in a, have the conviction to be in the top 10 or 20%, so that you can reap the rewards in some time to come. Whereas the journalist tends to be more the people who are more adaptable, who can learn a new skill in a shorter time and deliver value. And it's more akin to the gig economy that we are talking about. You pick up the roles for some time and then move on to something else. Nothing wrong in both of them. So both has its merits and demerits. But my sense is that hyper specialization is going to be thing in the future. I think when it comes to QA, obviously, as far as I remember, QA profession has been under that pressure from external forces, be it the decision makers in the organization who wants to see more value. So it comes to more an economics decision, like we always call cost of quality. We never use the term profit of quality, right? So it is always, we need people who can represent QA in a boardroom where you can showcase the value, and that is something I feel is lacking at the moment.